So this practice is a breathing practice followed by a deep relaxation or yoga nidra. So you're going to need for this practice, which is probably going to be about 25 to 30 minutes, a mat. You may need a block or a bolster to sit on, and you may need a blanket or a bolster or a rolled blanket and a blanket to throw over you. But just have all the bits and pieces to hand, so a block, a bolster, a blanket, or a pillow, whatever you need to be relaxed. And the first part of the practice is our breath work. So we're going to come into an upright seated position for this. And I'd like you to sit however you feel most comfortable. So you will notice that I will sit cross-legged, but that doesn't always work for you. One of the things that I do for myself sometimes is when I'm seated, I have a bolster which then can help my knees. So I've got a lovely bolster, but this could be a rolled blanket, a second yoga mat, or just a pillow that's quite easy to manoeuvre. I'm sliding that underneath my knees. I'm sitting on a raised block or another bolster or a pillow, whichever is comfortable for you. So this is quite a nice position to be in. The important part of this practice is that we actually do have a nice upright position, so our breath work is easy and flows. Okay. So what I'd like you to do is, as you come to this posture, just find some comfort here. Try a few different ways to be seated, and then once you've found that lovely comfortable position, I'd like you to either close your eyes or lower your gaze if closing your eyes is not comfortable for you. So as we find our comfortable position, I'd like you just to check in with your body. Maybe your feet and your legs could be adjusted. Maybe your knees need to be in a slightly different position. Now either have your hands on your knees, palms facing downwards, or have your hands in your lap so that you've got palms facing upwards so that the shoulders are relaxed. I'd like you to soften the jaw. Let the tongue spread softly in the base of your mouth. And again, close your eyes or lower your gaze. And I'd like you to bring your attention into your breathing. Notice your breath. Become accustomed to when the breath is coming in and when that breath is flowing out. So the focus of this practice is mostly the out breath, so I'd like you to let your attention sit quite lightly in the in-breath as that breath flows in. And then as you breathe out, I'd like you to deliberately breathe all the way out, allowing that breath to flow right away from you, emptying your lungs completely. The in-breath will come naturally, and then as we drop down into the next out-breath, remembering that you're breathing all the way out. Emptying those lungs right down to the very bottom. Making space for that in-breath, which will come in naturally. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, breathe all the way out, allowing your breath to flow freely and completely. as you breathe out, you might notice that at the end of that out-breath, there's a simple moment of stillness, a pause, a short space in time between the completely breathing all the way out and starting that in-breath. Now that gap, that pause, may be quite already well established, might be quite a gap that you can recognise and notice. There may not be a gap there at all, and as your out-breath finishes, your in-breath is ready and lined up. Nothing's right, nothing's wrong, it's all just how your breath is right now. So what I'd like you to do is just gently focus your attention, sit your attention lightly within that pause at the end of your out-breath. So breathe in and breathing out all the way right down to the bottom, allowing that breath to flow completely away, and then just wait. Sit in that pause and allow the in-breath to come when it feels natural and normal. Letting the in-breath flow in, dropping down into that out-breath once more. And as that out-breath flows away from you, notice this gap or pause and just gently encourage it to become just a little bit more pronounced, a little bit more definite. So I'm not encouraging you to hold your breath. What I'm encouraging you to do is just drop down into stillness at the end of the out-breath. Find that moment. It might be a fraction of a second, it might be a whole second long. And then let the in-breath flow normally and naturally. If it comes in one big gasp, then you're holding your breath, and that's not what this practice is about. So we need to just gently reassess that and just momentarily sit in that stillness rather than trying to sit there for seconds and seconds. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, breathe all the way out, deliberately emptying your lungs, and then sit in that luscious moment of stillness, where your breath is no longer flowing out, and you're not ready to start breathing in just yet. Breathing in when the breath is ready to come in. You may notice that that in-breath now is much deeper, much longer, and that's a nice thing. We'll embrace that. As we progress into this practice, you might find that the in-breath deepens and lengthens quite naturally, but that's not the focus of this practice. The focus is the out-breath and that moment or two of stillness. Breathing in. Breathe all the way out, letting your lungs empty completely, and drop down into that moment of stillness, that gap, that pause. That short space of time when you finish breathing out and you're not quite ready to start breathing in. Really luxuriate in this moment of stillness. Keep your breath flowing, so allow that in-breath to come when it's ready. At this point, as the practice progresses, you might find that busy mind starts to intrude into your moments of stillness. Remember, this is quite normal, this is quite natural. Congratulate yourself for recognizing this is happening. But don't get pulled along by those thoughts. think of that busy mind, that thought process that's throwing up little niggly thoughts. Just think of it almost as though it's clouds on a windy day. They appear almost as out of nowhere, and you look away, and when you look back, they've gone. And that's what we're going to allow to happen with our thoughts. So when those thoughts pop up, don't saddle them up and go with them. Just recognize them, acknowledge them if you wish, and let them go. Continue with your breath work, breathing in and breathing all the way out, and as you breathe all the way out, drop down into that moment of stillness, that luxurious moment of true stillness. Allow the in-breath to come naturally and let it flow. Breathing in, breathe all the way out. Drop down into a moment of stillness. Breathing in when the breath is ready to come. And we're just going to let this practice go now. We're going to let go of any control or intention to change the style or rhythm of our breath in any way. And what I'd like you to do is just notice how your breathing is flowing now. Maybe the rhythm and style is slightly different to how it was when we started. Maybe that rhythm has slowed. Maybe it hasn't, maybe it's evening itself out now. And what I'd like you to do is come down into a relaxation posture. So ideally a Shavasana pose. So Shavasana is lying flat on your back with your legs straight and your arms beside the body with your palms facing upwards. Now, I'm very well aware that this posture is not right for everybody all of the time. So if you're pregnant, then you need to either stay seated or lie on your side. If you have heart condition and lying flat, or high blood pressure or low blood pressure, lying flat is not good for you, then you'll know this, and staying seated is probably the best way to go, but you go with what you know is right for you. If you are happy to lie on your back, but your lower back is giving you some messages about being tight, then have your knees bent. So I'm going to stay seated. You won't be watching me, so that I don't need to be in Shavasana, and actually it's much easier for me to talk if I'm staying seated. So whichever posture you've chosen to be in, be comfortable in it. Have a blanket, pop your socks on, have a pillow under your head if you need that, and find some comfort in this posture. I'd like you just to take a moment or two just to check in with your body and make sure that you've chosen the best possible posture for this relaxation. So this is Yoga Nidra relaxation. Yoga Nidra is yogic sleep. The intention of this relaxation is not to sleep, but to find deep relaxation. If you do find yourself drifting away and discover that you rejoin
the relaxation at some point, or wake up and the recording is finished, that's fine, that's what you needed, and just go with that. If you do find yourself needing to move, then make it a considered movement, and make it sort of, try not to move too much if you can, because it distracts from the relaxation. So finding yourself in your Shavasana, so on your back, legs straight or knees bent, possibly a bolster under your knees. Let your lower back sink towards the mat. Close your eyes and soften your jaw. I'd like you just to take 3 lovely deep breaths in, taking in the breath through the nose and just gently sighing that breath out through the mouth. Now I'd like you to take your attention away from your body and take it to the space around you. I'd like you to build in your mind's eye a picture of the space that you have around you. Fill in the details of the ceilings and walls, the floor. There may be windows and doors, there may be curtains, there may be soft furnishings around you. Fill in all the details of the space around you. And allow your attention to flow to the space around your body, the colour and texture of the floor and the pattern, colour and texture of your clothing, the mat, the blanket, if you have one. And then let that whole picture fade gently away. And let your attention sit lightly within your breathing, just so that you become an observer of your breath. Just knowing when you are breathing in and breathing out. And I'm going to ask you now to set an intention for your practice, for your day ahead, for the week, or the year. This intention can be one great big thing that you'd like to attract into your life. It can be something quite simple. I would suggest that it is something positive, something nice. Formulate this intention into one simple sentence. And repeat that sentence to yourself 3 times now. If your intention is not coming easily, then just spend this time thinking about what it is you would really truly like to get out of today's practice, or the rest of your day, or the rest of your week. And go with that. So leaving your intention now, and I'm going to mention a part of your body, and as I mention a part of your body, I'd like you to allow your attention to flow into and around this part of your body, without any deliberate intention to move or relax this part of your body. Just allow your attention to wrap around it, and then move on to the next part when I mention it. I'd like you to bring your attention now to your right hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow. elbow, upper arm, shoulder. To the right side of the chest, waist, hip, thigh, back of the knee, kneecap, shin bone, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the right foot, the whole right foot, the whole right leg, the whole right side of the body, the whole right arm. Bring your attention now to your left hand, thumb, index finger, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder. To the left side of the chest, waist, hip, thigh, back of the knee, kneecap, shin bone, calf muscle, ankle, heel, sole of the foot, top of the foot, big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, little toe of the left foot, whole left foot, whole left leg, left side of the body, left arm, the whole left side. Bring your attention now to the back of your body and the base of your spine. Right buttock, left buttock, lower back, back of the waist, back of the rib cage, right shoulder blade, left shoulder blade, the space between your shoulders, back of the neck, back of the head, the crown of the head, the whole spine from crown to tail, the whole spine from bottom to top. The front of your body, forehead, forehead, forehead. Right eyebrow, left eyebrow, eyebrow, centre, right eyelid, left eyelid, right eye, left eye, right temple, right cheek, right nostril, left nostril, the tip of your nose, right ear, left ear, top lip, bottom lip, the space between your lips, tongue, teeth, chin, throat, right collarbone, left collarbone, right armpit, left armpit, heart, centre, heart, centre, heart centre. The right side of the rib cage, the left side of the rib cage, upper abdomen, navel, lower abdomen, pubic bone. The whole right side of the body, the whole left side of the body, right and left sides together. The whole body, whole body, whole body, whole body. Leave the awareness of your body now and allow your attention to be spontaneously drawn into and with your breathing. Allow your breath to be all there is. Just knowing when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. Counting backwards from 10 to 0, counting on every out breath. When you get to 0, start again at 10. If you lose count or get distracted, start again at 10. Leaving the awareness of your breath now and allow your attention to flow back into your body. Allowing your attention to flow back into your body on the mat. Imagining your body becoming heavier and heavier now, almost as though your body could melt onto the mat. Allowing your body to sink down onto the mat as you imagine it becoming heavier and heavier, almost as though you're sinking down into sheer comfort. Now imagine that your body is becoming lighter and lighter, almost as though it would be floating above the mat. Imagine your body becoming lighter and lighter, almost as though it's become as light as a feather and it's just touching the mat, gently and lightly, almost as though it's become as light as air. Now allow your body to become its normal weight, settling down onto the mat, imagining it returning to its normal weight as it settles onto the mat. Allowing your body to settle onto the mat. And as you allow your body to come back to stillness on the mat, I'm going to give you some pictures and images to imagine. I'd like you to bring your full attention to these pictures and images. Allow your attention to flow into them, adding detail from memory or imagination, and then allow your attention to flow on to the next picture as I give it to you. I'd like you to imagine that you see before you a single red rose, a thing of beauty. Raindrops on the surface of a pond, a galloping horse, a deserted beach, the wind blowing in the leaves of an ancient tree in full leaf. Snowflakes, a bunch of daffodils, a barking dog, a dripping tap, roses around a cottage door. Leave these pictures and images now. And once again, I'm going to ask you to return to your intention, to repeat it silently to yourself 3 times. Remember, this is a positive thing that you would like to attract into your life. You may already be working with an intention. If that's the case, go ahead and allow that to be repeated silently 3 times. If an intention is yet to come to you, then this is a space where you can allow inspiration to spring. And we'll let that intention sit lightly within your heart centre now. As your relaxation nears its end, you may like to wriggle your fingers and toes. You may like to take a stretch. As you do this, just become aware of the space around your body. Become aware of your body and the space around it. Become aware of your body, the space around it, in the space where you've been practicing yoga. Allow yourself to gently come back to now. And before you come back into an upright seated position, I'd like you to either bring your knees over your chest and take your Apanasana pose, or roll over onto your side with your knees bent. And what I'd like you to do is just take a moment here in this posture. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths. And then when you're ready, come back up into an upright seated position. And I'm going to say Namaste. Thank you very much for practicing with me in this online forum, this online cyberspace. I hope you've enjoyed it. I will wish you health, wealth and happiness for the rest of your day. Thank you very much.